Bada boom, bada boom. Want to make sure here. All right. There we go. I think we should be good. All right, everybody. Welcome on into the podcast here to the All Out Podcast. This is episode number 7 here. In this podcast here, we're going to be discussing E3 2021. So I want to see like what everyone's opinions on it is on the from E3. If you guys enjoyed it, what did you like about it? What you did not like about it? What kind of games were you excited for? Because this E3, it was. I mean, I will say this: the effects of the pandemic did show in full force. So I would like to say that. But we're gonna start with like who are we gonna start with today? You know, Tips, you're our guest here. Let's start with you. What were your thoughts on E3 from what you've seen?
Honestly, most of the presentations did not show a lot. Really, there were only like a few hand-picked games that looked interesting. But like when it came to Nintendo, they had like pretty much Nintendo won this E3. Let's just get that out of the way. Because like when it came to like the presentations, other than that, there were like the noteworthy games I could think of were like Salt and Sanctuary, Elden Ring. And I'm even forgetting all the other games. Yeah, I know there are more than just that.
Oh man, so I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mario plus Rabbids as well. But you know, that's just kind of a Nintendo thing anyway. So
yeah. And Riddler, what was your opinion on it? What was your opinion on it, Riddler? You probably said it already 1,000 times, but give us your opinion on it.
Yeah, an absolute waste of time. Past Nintendo, what was it really other than Elden Ring? That's my opinion, though. It was like it just was just like it's pretty much what we doing right now, having a discussion about different stuff. That's pretty much really what it was, Mike. Like, no joke.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that to be mean or anything like that. That's really what it was. And I even made a tweet, and I even sat there and said they really only introduced about 5 games. The rest are all remakes. Granted, I understand the Final Fantasy ones. I get that. I'm okay with those, but y'all know I'm tired. I'm personally tired of remasters. So there's that.
Well, I know for me, when it comes to like remasters versus like remakes and stuff, is that if it's you like I will say that I will agree. If when it comes to just like a pure remaster, that's just called that to me. It's just like laziness because they don't really do too much except like what updated textures, and that's honestly that's pretty much it. To be honest with you, in like what 4K resolution. Now, when it comes to like a full remaster, like where they actually change like the assets and you know stuff like that, I'm perfectly fine with that. At least in my opinion, because they actually took an effort to bring it up to snuff to modern standards and whatnot. But yeah, when it came to this E3, in my opinion, it just like really said it was just a big waste of time. Like I felt like I had to I was just playing a game and I had to sound on mute. That's how bad it was. Other than Microsoft, they actually showed off tech like Microsoft and Nintendo's and maybe Guerrilla Directive. Other than that, it felt like why were you here? In other words, but does anybody else have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's the thing about it. Like Nintendo really is to save E3. If you think about it, like there's a lot of games gonna be coming out. Advance Wars coming out, and your ass was like screaming like a goddamn banshee.
Well, because
I'm not gonna lie, the scary thing was I was actually twerking. And that morning, if I was recording it, I was actually twerking. My mother came was like, "What are you doing?" She walked in like she's like, "What are you doing? What's going on?" I said nothing wrong. Go.
You were fanboying over Advance Wars so hard,
dude. Because I've been begging for that game for 30 years. Okay, it hasn't really been 30, but I've been begging for that game. Okay,
over 10 years, right?
Yes, dude. I'm like Nintendo because the last one didn't do good in Nintendo's eyes, and so now since they're coming back with it, I'm just ecstatic. And it's a full remake too. It's a remake. So
of the first two.
Of the first two, yes.
They want to forget about the third game.
So, well, no, that's the fourth game that did bad. The third game did fine though, but the fourth game was a little bit bad. But carry on, Aki. I think it was Carry on, Aki. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Man's stuffing himself with ice cream.
You fall asleep.
See, even Shags knows it, man.
All right. Other than that, man, look, it's just pretty much simple. Like for the most part, I didn't see like the Saturday and Sunday parts of it, like take 2 and 3, because I was like busy trying to like win a beat battle. So I don't know much about that. But Halo Infinite though. Now, here's the thing, okay? The multiplayer is free. That's crazy in itself. But how are they gonna do it? I hope it ain't gonna be no goddamn microtransaction bullshit. Cause if it is, I'm gonna be mad as hell. I ain't gonna play that shit no more. I'm going back to the old shit.
It's a common rule that every game now has to have microtransactions.
Man, fuck that shit.
If it's cosmetics, I don't care because I ain't buying that garbage.
Yeah, as long as it's cosmetics. I mean, I was never a Halo multiplayer fan myself, so but as long as it's cosmetics and nothing pay to win, my only main worry about Infinite multiplayer being free to play is cheaters, hackers, especially on PC. Because if it's free to play, like unless they tie it to like VAC or something like that, or use like a better anti-cheat, then it makes me worried a little bit, because y'all see with PC gaming and stuff, the hacking can be really rampant and stuff. And like, what do y'all think on the hacking on that kind of side of things? Like, y'all think it's gonna be worth it going free to play or what?
I mean, well, I don't know.
Kind of. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, I will give you facts. But Shags, what were you gonna say right after Aki? By the way,
well, I think I don't mind remasters, because the thing is when you're remastering a game, most of a lot of these games that they're remastering were never designed to run on the machines that are out there today. So, like, I disagree with the price tag, like with a $60 price tag. No, granted, it does take manpower to do this stuff, but so someone's got to get paid. But I mean, the game, like I said, the games, like if you look at a game like Fallout 3, the only way that game runs on a modern PC is with modding, and like the community behind it,
Yeah.
So if they're taking
Vegas,
right, so, but I thought this E3 was just a bit meh. If I were to give it a word, it was just meh. Because I wasn't even really impressed with Halo. It just looked like
Halo.
It just looked like Halo. Like it didn't blow my mind. I'm way more, even though I'm skeptical of Battlefield, I'm way more excited for it because it was giving me like Bad Company 2 or Battlefield 4 vibes, like big time. But we've seen
Company 1 and 2 is the dopest shit ever. I swear to God. Man.
Yeah, and when you look at, I don't know, but when you look at the track record of like future war games, they're not great. So I mean, I am skeptical about how that will play out as far as like game mechanics go. But it looks like it's not in the so far future that it's far fetched. You know what I mean? Like you still have like regular helicopters and planes and stuff. Doesn't look like there's any sort of advanced movement, which is nice. But I don't know. I'm more of a purist when it comes to shooters. Like I enjoy, like I just enjoy like I'm shooting, you're shooting, who's better. I don't like the run, gun, slide, jump, like the slide cancel, whatever that. Yeah, like
Warzone.
Right. Like when it comes to that stuff, like I'd rather play PUBG. Like it's more of a game of chess and shooting than it is a game of like how well can you exploit the mechanics of the game. I mean,
I agree. I can agree.
Shagsworth, I just met you like a few minutes ago, and I already love you because nobody gives PUBG enough like credit.
Yeah, it's definitely stuck to its roots. Like it doesn't pretend to be anything more than it is.
Yeah.
It definitely struggles like UI UX. But I mean, as far as the gameplay goes, I love it. Like I love, this is me, this is you. Whoever has the better shot wins. Whoever has the better positioning wins. It's not, granted there's hackers, but it just doesn't seem as rampant as something like Call of Duty.
That you can blame Fortnite for, sadly, with like a lot with the downhill side of PUBG, just because Fortnite appeals more to children than it does to PUBG, and plus PUBG, you have to pay for it while Fortnite was free, and so
PUBG's a boomer game now.
boy, do I love playing Fortnite and hitting somebody in the back of the head with a bullet, and then they immediately turn right around and build New York City between me and them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got this guy.
What about you?
Why is Manhattan right here?
It goes all Minecraft.
All right.
No, man. What about you, Twilight? What are your? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish off that, Shaggers. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I think like a lot of us here. I think my thoughts on E3 are just that it's just, I think E3 has lost a lot of steam in the past couple of years, and this year was it was not the year for it, especially with COVID.
I mean, like I said, when it came to like I know nowadays it's like, at least in my opinion, right nowadays everybody blame things for the pandemic. Okay, keep in mind that yes, at the start of the pandemic, people were adjusting and stuff, right? I understand, that's understandable, but at a certain moment in time, you can't just sit there and blame everything on the pandemic, especially since there were articles of people saying that, working from home was a lot better as a developer anyways, because they still got the same production done at the same time. So you can't sit there and tell me that, you can't always sit there and blame the pandemic, and so like when it came to this E3, it felt like what annoyed me the most was this. Which one was the worst offense of this? It was whenever the one with the Mech Warrior 5, when they kept what was that? Was it 2K? Was it Desert 2? I don't remember. But anywho, it will be like world premiere, 5 to 10 seconds worth of gameplay or CG trailer. Right. All right, developer. How does it feel to have your game with us in Koch Media today? Like, how does it feel for you to be with Koch Media? How does it feel? That shit was annoying me. And then between it was like, guys, we're going to vote on Mech Warrior 5. Who's going to be the best person in Mech Warrior 5? Who cares about Mech Warrior 5? I want to see some of the game announcements. I don't care. I don't.
Well, and they snuck in all these like woke moments where it was just like, just talk about video games. Like, why are we, it always seemed like there was some sort of like diversity talk in it. And I was just like, okay. And like, maybe I should have the hat on right now, Disbearity, but like,
we're gonna get to that point in just a sec. Honestly,
right?
It's just, and then like at the same time, none of these developers had nothing to show. All it was them reiterating what we already known. Like we got you that Resident Evil 8 is coming out DLC. Cool. We got you that Monster Hunter Stories is coming out soon. Cool. But what is in the tables? Like, do I hear a Dragon's Dogma 2 coming on Capcom? Do I hear like, I don't know, freaking Power Rangers? I don't know, whatever. Like, what? I want to know.
For the crit too.
Like, I want to know what's coming and not what we already know for the past. Like, because even though Twitch chat was like super, y'all were looking at Twitch chat, they were super toxic. But in most cases, though, I would have to agree. A lot of that shit was Resident Sleeper. Like, like literally. And I don't know what these devs are thinking. Like, we understand like this. Yes, the pandemic hits you, but it couldn't hit that hard. It couldn't hit that hard. Okay, come on, it couldn't have. But Twilight, what's your opinion on it, Twilight? What do you think? If you've seen any gameplay or anything?
I didn't get to see too much of the gameplay. I mostly just looked at the highlights because it's been a busy week. But SMT5, kind of excited for that.
Yeah.
Not sure because I heard that the Devil Survivor series was gonna have a new one come out for the Switch. I don't know if that's what that one's gonna be or if they're separate.
Here's the question for you, Twilight. Do you have a Switch?
I do.
All right. The game that you need to pick up, which actually has similar gameplay to Shin Megami Tensei 5, pick up Token Mirage Sessions if you haven't already.
That one.
I own it, but I haven't beat. I dropped it all. I dropped it because of other games and stuff. But the gameplay is really fun. Yeah, I'll link it to you. You should definitely check it out because the gameplay from Shin Megami Tensei 5 is pretty similar. Nice. But yeah, back to you. I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, and then Starfield kind of seems cool. I heard it described as like Skyrim in space.
Yeah.
The best part ever is that it's on their creation engine 2. Actually remade an engine, their own engine, from scratch.
Even if it's an updated engine, that's fine. Like, they needed it big time.
Oh yeah.
Or, you know, like Skyrim's great and has been running fine for the last decade, but you know, I'm sure they needed a little bit more power for Starfield. And I agree, Twilight. I think Starfield looks, I mean,
Same.
the idea of it and everything seems great. You know, if they can pull off that same feel as Skyrim.
Same.
But
I think they said it's like NASA punk or something like that. Like, no, I guess like steampunk, but NASA-ish. You know, I guess in terms of like design, I guess.
Like Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys played Outer Worlds?
Oh, I played.
Oh yeah, Outer Worlds
the
is
second one coming
awesome.
out.
Right.
Dude, when I saw
And that
Outer
was-
Worlds 2. Oh, speaking of Outer Worlds 2, by the way, the trailer that they did the trailer was so dirty. Because what it was is like
They knew what they were doing.
they baited people to think it was Fable. They baited people. I was like, is this Fable? Because I think I was in Discord with my buddy Dre. I kept saying, man, where's Fable at? Where's Fable at? And I was like, oh wait, it's Fable. There's Fable. And it's like, wait a minute.
And then they baited you.
Yeah, dude, I was like, but then I was like, you know what? I'm fine with that though. It's Outer Worlds. Okay, I'm fine with that. Thank you.
I'm so mad they didn't show up Fable.
It's gonna be a new Fable though, right?
There's supposed to be a new Fable, but it's been in development, I think, for like past 2.5 years. But I guess they just didn't have anything to show. Because you know,
I'll wait if it's good.
Oh yeah, if they make it back to like Fable 1, 2, or 2-ish gameplay, then with guns or something like that, that'll be cool. I'll be fine with that. But
And then, did you guys see that Avatar game?
yes,
I didn't even understand what it was.
I think
Me either.
I think
I didn't either.
so. People are speculating, but I think it's more or less of a speculation. It's supposed to. You guys know Horizon Zero Dawn, correct? Think of it like
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn, but Avatar-ish. So,
Not interested.
but then they also said that it may be a first-person type game as well. So that's to be looked at, I guess.
Sounds like a game with a huge identity crisis. Like it doesn't really know what it wants to be. Because I don't know. I feel like anything that's coming out Avatar needs to be the sequel, and that's it. Like it. I don't know. We've been waiting over 10 years, right, for a sequel to that movie,
Facts.
and now it's just like this is just to be like, just hold on a little longer. We got you. It's coming. It's coming. I promise. So I don't know. But when I watched the trailer and I watched everything, I was just like, I don't really know what this is. Is it an MMO? Is it like a Skyrim game? Because even if it's like a Horizon, even if it was like a Horizon Zero Dawn, like I don't know. I don't know how well a game. I mean, I guess it could work fine. But those are like when they do movie adaptations to games. You know, when they adapt a movie to a game, I don't know. I feel like few games have really done it well. The only one that I've played that I've really loved is probably Alien Isolation. That really kind of captured the atmosphere of the movie and translated it well to an actual game. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's on like Game Pass or something. I can pick it up that way.
I feel like in terms of like lore and stuff, the only lore that we know about the world of Avatar is like from the movie, and like you said, it took like them like 10 years to even come out, try to for the sequel to somewhat come out or whatnot. And so, like my question is, will this game be canon towards the overall lore, or is it just like a weird we're just going to create a game just to create a game, or like what's that feeling like their license for the IP is about to run out, I guess, and they need to make something in order to keep that IP, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the best case that I'm going for. But apparently it's the first Avatar game for like a AAA budget, because I think they came out with one before, and that was like a double.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I think it came out on the Wii and other PS3 and stuff like that, and that was like a AA budget. It's like, I think people said it wasn't bad, but it's just kind of like
Avatar the game.
I think it was just like they just said it was there, I guess. So that's from what I've seen. But yeah, I don't know the other companies that were there at E3. We had Square Enix. There was something with something special. The whole chaos. Yeah, that was something special. What else did they show there? I don't even remember what else they showed there. Of course,
Marvel.
Oh yeah,
Wasn't
Marvel
even
Guardians.
Square
Oh yeah,
Enix,
sorry.
it was just the Marvel reveals. That was it.
Oh yeah, it was Guardians of the Galaxy. How do y'all think that's gonna play out or look like, in your opinion? Do y'all think it's gonna be a looter shooter or a actual like single player? Do what you gotta do kind of BS.
If it's gonna be a looter shooter, I'm not fucking touching it.
Yeah.
Like to each their own, but like holy shit. The only time I think that the looter shooter category has done relatively well is Borderlands. Like I found Destiny boring as fuck. The Avengers game was boring as fuck. Like I don't get the appeal. Like if you're switching out gear like every 5 minutes, like it's like when Breakpoint came out and it was a looter shooter, and Breakpoint sucked.
Yeah.
Because you were having to switch your weapons out and change up your play style like every single time, and it's like that's not immersive. It's not immersive at all. Like
Was this game?
I get what he's saying.
and I love my military shooters, but it's like when you're used to using an AR and then you have to switch to a sniper rifle because it's stronger gear score wise, and it's just like why?
Kind of like Wolfenstein and Youngblood. Because I think I told Ridley to skip that one because it's literally, you
Don't even get me started on that one. Don't get me started on that one.
Speaking of Borderlands, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Looking forward to that.
I'll go first on that. I mean, it's Borderlands. I mean, the one thing that's like catching me is that it's D&D ish. I'm not D&D ish, but it's like fantasy, and I'm a person of fantasy and sci-fi, and like, because the thing with Borderlands is like, if you don't have anybody to play with, honestly, Borderlands is boring. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like you gotta have like a squad of friends or something like that, just like push me through it. Because if I'm playing solo, I can't do it. I'd rather go to sleep or something like that. Like Borderlands by myself.
You become resident sleeper.
Like, but because it has that fantasy feeling though, I think I can go for it. But what about you guys though?
I mean, if it's pretty much just Borderlands with like a fantasy feel, I could go for it. I mean, sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I was really just gonna say that because I do like the idea of like a fantasy setting in Borderlands, and that to the mix seems like a unique thing.
I mean, if it's just gonna be the Borderlands 2 Tiny Tina DLC, but just a whole game, I mean,
kinda.
I'd play it.
But I think they're saying that it was gonna be like its own, like mainly standalone game.
Oh no, I'm like for a lot of these E3 reveals, I'm gonna wait on gameplay. Like even with the Battlefield 2040 whatever.
420.
420. 2420, let's go. When that came out, like that trailer, I mean, it's just perfection. But then I'm sitting there thinking about, I'm like, well, I mean, it's a trailer though. It's not necessarily any gameplay, which by the way, they included a reference to that fucking mad lad that played 3, where he was in a helicopter or a plane or something, jumped out of it, took out a rocket launcher, shot a jet that was following him, blows that jet up, and falls back into his jet, gets back in it, and goes.
That was a cool shout out.
It was. I don't know. Did you guys see the the guy's reaction to it?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he freaked the fuck out.
Oh, for sure.
Shout out to that guy. But yeah, but like that trailer looks great. I mean, even with movies, you can make a trailer look fucking amazing. But it doesn't mean shit if the movie's gonna be trash. And so that's why I wanted to wait on gameplay, which I saw the gameplay, and I was kind of impressed. I mean, I'll be damned if I'm not gonna jump headfirst in that tornado though as soon as it touches down. If the tornado's in the city, yeah, I'm gonna jump into it. Let's go. What's the worst that can happen?
Tips.
That is like the worst part about like gamers nowadays is like you have experiences like games like Cyberpunk and all this and Anthem, and people get so pumped like the first time they watch a trailer and like, oh my god, this is amazing. And as soon as that Battlefield trailer dropped, I saw so many people being like, this is great. Oh my god, I can't wait. Take my money. I'm like, you haven't even seen gameplay trailer yet. Like, this is all pre-rendered. Someone put all this together on purpose, made it look amazing for you. You haven't even seen them play a game. And even when you do have the gameplay, like, that's like a special design. Again, it's all edited for you to see. You know, people just got to be skeptical nowadays. Set your expectations low on these games because, I mean, if history is any indicator, like we've gotten shafted, you know, and even a game like Cyberpunk, I want to like Cyberpunk, but I played for like 9 hours and I was just like, this game is too broken right now. It just doesn't. I'm not happy with it, and I'll be the same way with all these other games coming out. Like, I'll watch a little bit, I'll keep an eye on it, and see what happens. You know, I think like with Halo, I think Halo being a free multiplayer, like, okay, I can jump right in. I can start playing. I don't need a battle pass. I'm sure there'll be a battle pass. There'll be plenty of things to buy. But I don't know. I think we just got to be
skins.
Yo, Tips.
Oh, sure.
So Tips, my sister said, "Who's this Harry Potter looking person in the bottom left corner?" So that's Tips. She said, "God damn, look like he about to go off to Hogwarts right now." I said, "What?" I said, "Wow."
God.
He said, "Don't." Wow. No, this is like, wait, y'all have tips on the podcast? Damn, podcast must really be going downhill. I said, what?
Oh my god.
Who said that?
Ashley. I said, wow, okay.
It's gonna break out the Avada Kedavra here in a second. Goddamn.
For real.
You're gonna break out Voldemort's wand.
Why she roasted man so hard? I don't know.
Look, Ashley, I know you ain't talking. You look like Miss Finster from Recess, Mar. Come on now.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
But Miss Finster, she's white though, Ak. You can't say that. now you're whitewashing a black woman. Okay, no, hold on. Let me stop right there. Hold on. Hold on. I got the hat on. Almost forgot. But
Oh, God.
but yeah, man. Battlefield though. I mean, it looked. I mean, like I said, it did look good. But you know, we need some gameplay on there. Like,
Why she roasted man so hard? I don't even know. Like, bro.
like
he was innocent. He was innocent. He was just chilling like a villain on pillar ceiling. And she had the nerve to go ahead and try to talk bad about this man. Ain't that a bitch?
But yeah, the worst offense to like a lot of this E3 stuff, which is like I find this E3 like really weird. I don't even know why they did this. That was 2K. 2K. The worst part is people were expecting some GTA content, some Red Dead content, some type of content. But their whole thing was the whole like woke diversity and stuff. Like, diversity.
What was it? The Grammys?
They said it was diversity, equity, and something else. Talk right.
Inclusion.
Inclusion.
Man,
Yes.
equity for first off.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like here's this thing right here. I understand that people. You want people, you want to be in there, you want to be represented, you want to be this, I'm fine with that. But you don't want to force that. Like, you could talk about it, which that will, you could talk about it, but you don't want to shove it down people's throats, And that's what that's what these companies don't understand, is that they don't care for you. Let's be real, at the bottom line, they don't care for you. What they care about is them dollar bills that they're trying to get from you. That's what and people don't understand that. Like when a company like Microsoft or Sony says, guys, we're with the LGBTQ, or we're with this, we're with that. They're only doing that for one reason only. It's money, because money runs this world.
That is true.
And so, also imagine like, I was thinking about this on the way to work because of like everything that was going on, and I thought, how ridiculous would it be? Like, imagine I came to you guys and was like, hey, Riddler. Hey, Twilight, I just want to let you know that I need to diversify my friends, and because of that, I want you guys to be my official black friend and my official Asian friend. Thank you.
What the fuck?
How insulted would you be? Like, how insulted would you be? Like, it's just as simple as that. And like, that's what a lot of these companies are doing. They're saying, we don't really care much about your qualifications. It's just because of something that you can't possibly control. Like, because you were born with this melanin level, like that's why you're on the team. Like, it's just disingenuous. Like, like what, you know, again, we don't know, no one's talking about how important merit is in building a company or building a group of friends or anything like that. It's just, well, no, how woke are you? How diverse are your friends? But I don't know. Like I said, it's forced. It's not. It doesn't mean anything.
Like, I agree with JJ here. Only include a character or a character type if it makes sense, not because you want to diversify your game. Exactly. If it makes sense to your story, go ahead and include them in there. You know, if I want a black main character or a Spanish main character or an Asian main character, I'm gonna put them down. I'll put them there because it makes sense to my story. You know, these guys are going to go somewhere. They're going to kill RPG game. They're going to kill some dudes. Call it a day. You know, not because my game comes out because I have a white character who's the main character, but they have two side characters who are people of color. You know, then you know somebody out there is gonna be like, oh well, why aren't the people of color the main character? Well, what if my story is about this racist character having to group up in this post-apocalyptic world with people of color, but he has to get over that because they have to survive together, and eventually the story will mold into something different, you know, into where they become actual friends or something like that, you know. You know, that's how something could work. That's how it should work out, you know. Now you don't you're not forcing it, but you melded a story around that, you know.
Spacey, quit referencing the book I'm writing.
But yeah, you know, that's just what it is, though. You know, you don't want to sit there and say, well. Oh gosh, hold on. Now Aki is man. Yeah, that's Aki. All right.
There he goes. There he goes.
No, we're making it. You know, and it's just, I just don't know what 2K was thinking, man. That's like, it puts a lot of saltiness. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I want to, as a black person, African American descent, I want to be represented in a video game, but I don't want it to be forced. You know, that's it. That's all I'm asking. I want to be represented, but not to be forced. That's it.
That's why I said in the last podcast that I feel like everything is just aimed at some group or something like that, and it just seems all PR based to me.
Oh yeah,
that's why I'm all for, you know, getting other artists, like trying to get them known, getting their art out there, stuff like that, because they all doing stuff differently. You know, I get it. Yay, we love Resident Evil. We love representation, blah, blah, blah. But let's be honest with each other. It's all PR based just to aim at a group. The Last of Us 2, despite it winning Game of the Year, which I don't agree with, it was aimed at a group.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, it's really interesting too. Like, I'm playing through. I've been playing through Horizon Zero Dawn on stream, and it's a really good game, and the story is pretty compelling. But what I'm noticing is that there are like sprinkles of like wokeness in it, where it's just like so many of the people you encounter are really strong women, which is fine. But like all of them, like almost like a lot of the people you're dealing with are like really strong women. Again, no problem with that or anything. But like most of the men you run into are these like kind of frail, weak, or even like toxic people to an extent, like overly so. Which I don't know, and that was made before a lot of this stuff really became mainstream. But it's something that you're kind of seeing, and I'm like, what? I'm playing it, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. Like, you don't like, and then I think back to like a game like Final Fantasy VII, where you have like a very diverse group of people, and they're all like really strong in their own ways. Like Barrett was like, I mean, giant, strong black guy, but he was smart. He was a smart guy. Like, he was a leader of a resistance group fighting against the man, you know, but he wasn't like some like crazy, irrational thug. You know what I mean? But like, people forget about that sort of thing. They forget about that good writing that existed in video games. That was 1997, you know? So I don't know. This whole
The culture,
and that was like one of the things of E3 that I was just really bummed about, was like there was so much focus on this like apparition of diversity, whether it was like in the actual companies or in the games, that I was like, let's just make a game and have fun, like, because that's what we've been doing for years.
And it's just I don't know, man. I mean, it's like I said, it's a culture thing, like things, yes, it's been happening for I guess as for years and stuff, but now because of a certain person that passed away, sadly, it's been kicked up and upcharged. It's been going into high gear and stuff. And like I said, I understand that everyone wants to be represented and stuff like that. It's just don't force it. Let it come gradually. Educate people on it. Stuff like that. Just don't shove it down people's throats. That's pretty much it at the end of the day. And 2K, we didn't come to E3. You could have done that. That was the wrong time and place to do it. You could have sat there and created your own little panel, or down the line a month or two later and be like, guys, we're having a diversity talk on our live stream. People would understand that. But no, they didn't decide to do that. And also, what's funny is that Geoff Knightley, he was the main host of the the Summer Games Fest, right? He created a poll of each convention, or each segment of E3. Okay. He asked people, how did you feel about this conference? A, B, C, or D, of course. D is the worst. Every single conference was a D. This is out of 30,000+ votes on the poll on Twitter. Okay? So, if that kind of gives you an idea on how E3 went this year. And then he was like, I told you guys. I told you guys what's going on. And so, that's what I was just like, And then, go ahead, really.
It was just a mess. Like overall, like they could have did so much that they didn't do. We can be sitting here, another hour and a half, just like going around just saying what they could have did, or they could have talked about, or could have brought up. They didn't do none of that, in my opinion.
Like Nintendo. Now, so Nintendo's. I will say this: Nintendo saved E3 for what it was, and then it was Microsoft, and of course the Guerrilla Directive, because they know what Nintendo did. They said, yes, we went through a pandemic. They told us all last year that we weren't going to really see anything last year. That's what they told. That's what they told us. But they came out this year. E3 said, you know what? Even though we're throwing in some ports, we do got some new games to show y'all today, and they showed us a holistic. They showed us what. I'm looking at the list right now. They showed us Metroid, Dread. They showed us Mario Party Superstars. They showed us Shin Megami Tensei 5. What else they show? Advance Wars 1 and 2 remake. The new WarioWare. I wasn't expecting a WarioWare game.
I wasn't either.
I wasn't either. But I mean, with this Nintendo Switch being out, it could have make it good for an interesting gameplay. I just didn't expect it too soon.
But the point is, though, is that they showed us content. They didn't reiterate half the time, guys, we're coming out with this game. We're coming out with this game, guys, that we already know about. Hell, they even showed us Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay. It was actual gameplay. And they're like, we're not ready yet, but we're going to show y'all something. That's how you do a conference. Not this BS. Oh, God. Just plain old terrible. I'm telling you, and I don't care what anybody says. Freaking Nintendo won E3. Hands, no matter how much you like, you can't sit there and tell me, look at me in the face, and say it was. I've been seeing people on Twitter say, "Man, this E3 conference was great this year, guys. We showed off some." Yes, they showed off some games, but they didn't show off what was needed to be showed off. And when it came to E3, they showed us a lot of here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna hop on indie games real quick. Because I want to ask y'all, how do y'all feel about indie games? Now, don't get me wrong. Indie games, I love my indie games. Okay, don't get me wrong. I do, because I have plenty of them. Okay? My main problem is the majority of indie games, as in the past couple years, have been the same exact indie games that we've been seeing all over and over again. And we're pretty soon, I think we're going to hit a fatigue point. And that is roguelike 2D pixel games. There's been so many that I've seen at this E3 that I'm just like, we're gonna hit a point where people are gonna be tired of roguelites. I've been seeing like a lot of games they're trying to copy Slay the Spire's formula, do it with the whole card game roguelite. It's just like, is that all the content that indie games are giving us right now? Like, how do y'all feel about that?
It's definitely the cycle that games go through. I mean, this is what happened with battle royales about 10 years ago, right? Like people, well, before that it was survival. It was survival games were the big thing.
Minecraft,
and then
COD,
right? And then yep. And then like H1Z1 kind of was like the tipping point because that was supposed to be a massive survival MMO, but they couldn't make money off of it, so they developed it was PUBG that was kind of making a game. Or no, I'm sorry, the H1Z1 Battle Royale came out first. And then that guy who created that broke off and made PUBG because he lost his creative control. And then everyone was like, holy crap, there's lots of money in Battle Royales. And then I think that was like one of those weird points in games where we were starting to see a decay in AAA titles. And then the indie devs started popping up and you started seeing really good indie games. And then, I think the pixel games were really big because they were cheap to make. Like 1 or 2 or 3 people could make that game. And but I think you're right. I think you're gonna see that bubble break at some point soon, and people are gonna be like, okay, what's the next thing? And someone's just gonna have to iterate on what's been happening. Like maybe it's gonna be a blend of something,
Yeah, because like I said, I like indie games. It's just when you see I could tell you, like, if I see, like, I have probably about over 100 roguelites, The only out of every roguelike you do get, really good gem, like Hades, because Hades changed the formula a bit. But other than that, it's usually just the same old, like you said, 2Ds they're cheaper to make. But in my opinion, I just want to see, I guess I expected to see something a lot more different, I guess, But that's just me, though, that's just me.
Those like games like if I can real fast, the games like Subnautica, like I played through those recently. Those are a great departure, and they're a great blend of like kind of RPG light because you have like a story and you have like you're not really building a character, but the more stuff you find, you're kind of like things are gated behind research or exploration, and like there's a kind of a light story mixed in with finding little computers or PDAs throughout the world. And the game, like the first Subnautica took me 40 hours to beat. Like that's a perfectly acceptable amount of time to play a game for $20 or $30, whatever it is. Maybe we need to see more of those. As maybe we don't need these massive scale RPGs like Skyrim or Starfield or Horizon Zero Dawn. Maybe we just need something that takes up 20, 30 hours of our time that gives us a good original story, not a reused, whatever. So,
Aki, what are your thoughts?
That's the thing.
Come on, Aki, speak to us, Aki.
All right.
Podcast to fall asleep too.
I think shorter games are gonna be better too because they are more quality, and now that there are more indie games coming out, there's so many different games coming out. Like there's so many games to play, and you don't get more time in the day, So it'll be better to have more quality, shorter games.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I'm just gonna acknowledge this fact. Adult-based games are doing a lot better than some of these other games, though. Just saying. I just want to acknowledge that fact. It's true.
Need my hentai game, Phil.
Yo, I have a favor. I have a request. Could someone play Lawnmower Simulator for me?
Lawnmower Sim?
Yeah, dude, they're going with Lawnmower Sim.
Nah, bro. I'm all about that Power Washer Simulator.
Hell yeah, dude.
Power Washer Simulator.
Oh.
Wow.
I shit you not on that one.
All right,
Well, if you guys
look. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm all about. I'm all about Monster Girl Quest.
Wait, is this man eating at an ice cream bucket though? At a gallon ice cream?
Yeah, he's been doing it this whole time. You just
yeah.
He falls asleep in between bites.
I'm pretty sure we've all been taking glances at his camera just to see him do it.
I don't be looking at Aki like that. I just have to really scrape my eyes like, he really doing it? And that's oh man. Aki,
Alright.
you go share some of the ice cream, Aki? Oh, you know what? Here's the thing. Now, I wasn't much of a Diablo fan because I haven't played a lot of Diablo. But how did you guys? What do y'all think about Diablo 2 Resurrection? I think that's what it's called, right? What do you guys thoughts on that?
It's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
I never played Diablo a day in my life.
Diablo 2 is the one to play if you want to get into ARPGs. That's for sure.
I've only played Diablo 3.
Same.
And just like I'm kind of looking forward to playing 2 because I've heard nothing but good things from like everyone I know that played Diablo games. They're like, no, if you're gonna play a Diablo game, you're gonna play 2, and it's like,
Yeah. 2 was like one. Like when 3 came out, everyone was kind of like, "You had a winning formula with 2. Why did you ruin that?" You know, it was like when Xbox went from the 360 to the 1. You're like, "What did you guys do? This was perfect. You totally ruined it."
it's Microsoft. Have you seen how they count?
Shit, that can't count for shit. Damn. They should have said name the Xbox 720.
Honestly, I think they were going to go for that, but then they're like, you know what?
They're all expecting that. Let's not do that.
I feel like
That's too easy.
I feel like at this point, I would open up the box for a new Xbox and just start hearing like the Tony Hawk noise when you land like a good trick or something. Just that record scratch.
Yeah.
Hey, 720.
Yeah. Let me see here. Gosh, man. Oh, speaking of mine too, if you guys want to check out some of the games that they did show, or actually, there's a lot of games. If you have PC, of course, the Steam Next Fest is going on, where they have over 700 game demos that you guys can check out for free. So there's a lot of indie games in there that you all should really check out for free. I downloaded a couple myself. I haven't yet to try out some of these games, but definitely, if some of those games pique your interest, they have NSFW games, they have safe work games. They got a lot of different types in there. So, I'm not advertising. I mean, I guess you could say I'm advertising.
Sounds like it.
But I mean, check it out. Though. I mean, I just looked at it today. I was like, damn, okay. You know, I saw a couple games. I mean, there were a couple games that did pique my interest in E3. Like one of them was War Tales. I did one because it's an open RPG game. You know, in isometric view, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try that game because it's a demo, and you know, demos are free, right? And it's rare these days that we get demos anyways, so because you know we don't get demos like that. Companies want you to buy their game like that, you know, without having to know any gameplay or anything. So at least these devs or indie devs are giving you a chance to, you know, see gameplay and stuff, you know. So definitely check that.
I just want adult VR games. How low I've fallen.
I mean, if you need some adult VR games, ask Riddler. He knows them all.
I don't know them all, but I know plenty.
My man.
My man.
There's an isometric game that's coming out called Lost Ark. I just linked it.
Oh yeah, the MMO.
That looks cool.
Oh, that game's been out for I think like actually since like 2017 in Korea.
And in Korea, it's huge.
Yep, and Amazon's bringing it over. Now people are like really skeptical, like, "Oh my gosh, is it Amazon?" But no, they're publishing it for you guys who are English-speaking people can play it.
Yeah, I remember there was a lot of American streamers trying to get like codes for that, or like they're trying to, because it was like region locked, and they were doing everything they could to get access to the game because it looked great. And that's that is something that I'm interested in trying, because I've been trying to find a new like MMO to start over with. Like I still like the Elder Scrolls Online a lot, but I feel like I'm outgrowing it at this point. Like I need something new and exciting. And an AR, like the ARPG style, the isometric style is, you know, if it's done right, is really good. So I'm hoping that it turns out well.
Oh, by the way, Microsoft is doing an extended E3 conference, I think on the 7th tomorrow, actually, showing off some extra stuff. I think they felt like it was still kind of disappointing, so I think they're showing off some other stuff, which is, I guess, kind of cool. I mean,
Fable better be included.
no, that not for sure. Okay, here's
Keep
a game.
holding your breath.
Here's a game that's supposed to be making a. That's supposed to be taking the title of Left 4 Dead. What do y'all think of Back 4 Blood? What are your thoughts on that? What do you say? Don't get that?
I know. I was going to get that because it comes off as being better than Left 4 Dead. Honestly, like no questions asked. I like the fact the customization you can do. Yeah, that means everybody playing a different character.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't have to worry about the possibility of playing the same character as somebody else. I ain't got to worry about tier lists being made, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, definitely want to play that.
As ironic as it is, my favorite character in Left 4 Dead was Ellis. And like, when people stole my
one time, me and my buddy Keith.
Like, if people take my character Ellis, I get disappointed. And so I am glad they have different characters in that game that you that you don't have to really like fight over. I think how many characters did they show? Like 8 to maybe 12. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to the number, but
forgot how big.
But for me though, I'm actually excited. I played I don't know. Did you play the beta really back then, a while back, or no?
I didn't get to play the beta.
Me and a couple of buddies did, and that beta, I ain't gonna lie, it was a fun game, but it was hard though. But it was fun, rough around the edges, but a good game at that.
Did you guys see? Age of Empires 4.
I did.
That was in the E3, right?
Yep,
I did. I could speak on that. The thing, here's my issue with Age of Empires. I'm excited for it, but I'm not gonna get it though. And the reason why I'm not gonna get it is because they're not innovating the series at all. What it is that when it comes to in the original Age of Empires, like the original, so Age of Empires basically, the first game you started in the Roman era, second game you started in the like medieval / like Dark Ages kind of thing, right? And then in the third game you go from like the Renaissance to the Age of Colonization. So the fourth game, before Ensemble Studios fell, they were teasing that it was going to be like from the Age of Colonization to World War I at least, or something like that, right? But then of course the Ensemble Studios closed down, and then people they wanted the next Age of Empires, and so basically this new one is basically Age of Empires 2-2, in other words, and
what the hell?
That's pretty much what it is. It's Age of Empires 2-2. So if you really want to play Age of Empires 2, you can just go play Age of Empires 2 instead of playing.
Wow.
I will say I have Age of Empires 2 on Steam, and it plays like dog shit. So if it's just a total remaster and remake, I would probably spend the $30 on it, whatever it costs, because it runs so bad. I think it even launches like the DOS prompt on the computer to play it. It's so bad.
Well, there's two versions. Well, there's a couple versions of Age of Empires 2. You have Age of Empires 2. Then I think they have HD, the Age of Empires 2 HD, and then
That's
they
what I
have
have.
then they have
It's
Age
a
of
definitive edition.
yeah. Then they have And so like most people, I guess, either play the HD or definitive. I guess I don't know. But yeah,
Well, I think they updated the multiplayer for the definitive. So.
yeah, they added a lot of stuff to it. So they did the same thing with the third one, definitive Age of Empires 3. I said though, it's just Age of Empires 4. It's just they're not innovating because it's I guess they're scared to innovate. I guess you could say.
They should just make an Age of Mythology too.
Exactly. Hey, I can deal with that because you can add in more. You can add in more cultures and stuff. Now you have India mythology. You have what do you call Brazilian or Latin American mythology. They could you're right. Well, I could be excited for that.
Like they did make a DLC for the first one, like including like an Asian mythology kind of thing, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't that great, I guess. But if they like really did well and made another one and put like the effort, I think it could be really popular.
Yeah, I agree. But that's just that though. It's just, that's what a lot of people are saying too. And then you got the people complaining about the graphics before. They're like saying, well, the graphics like they're 2015, 2010 graphics, something like that. I'm not a graphics kind of person. I don't clamor. As long as the game runs great, looks decent, That's pretty much it. What did you guys check out Salt and Sanctuary, the sequel, or at least the sequel to that game?
I did not actually.
Huh?
So there's a game called Salt and Sanctuary, which had a sequel. What was it called, Tips? I know Tips was talking about
Salt and Sacrifice.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the sequel
There's
to
a
it.
sequel to that?
It's coming out soon, yeah.
What?
And it's gonna have co-op, Dylan. gonna have co-op.
Never heard of it.
Well, it's gonna have like offline and online multiplayer.
Mm-hmm. It's basically, I think it's like 2D or 2.5D Dark Souls, right? Something like that. At least that's what they touted it as.
Yeah.
So it looked
I
interesting.
did not know about this.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it looked really good.
My wallet. My poor wallet.
You and me both, Dylan.
Like I know I'm gonna be screwed the minute that FromSoft announces like the collector's edition of Elden Ring.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm fucked when that happens. Like I'm probably not gonna be able to get anything else for the rest of the year. It's just that. Because like every Souls game that has came out that has had a collector's edition, well, after 2, because I didn't get into the series until after 2 came out. But I bought the special like collector's editions of them. Like even the collector's edition guidebook for Dark Souls 3 I have. It came with a nice little replica of an Estus flask too.
Hey.
Can't drink out of it, which kind of irritated me. Like, let me put Sunny D in it, please. All I want.
That's great.
Like, it's flat.
Just got to get yourself a drill, my man.
That's funny.
Just coat the inside of that bitch. Let it rip.
Is that an Estus flask though? Hey, I feel it though.
Don't taunt my Estus flask. I love it.
I feel it though, man. But
Even though it's kind of made out of like shit plastic,
but I feel I feel like later though this year there's still a lot more announcements coming out. I just want them to like. I'm gonna start putting my expectations on E3. I'm gonna start putting it at a super low like expectation. I'm not expecting shit, dude. Unless it's as much as people say they hate Nintendo, guys, trust me. On Twitter, y'all. Let me tell y'all, I posted on Twitter, man. Nintendo won E3. I got people are like, what? Are you serious? Because they don't like it. Because of course, they don't like Nintendo where you got to pay for a game $60, yada yada. The whole Nintendo tax BS. But once again, though, I simp. Well, I don't really simp for Nintendo, but I do buy a lot of their games as of now. But we got again a lot more announcements to show, I guess, and that's what we're waiting for, hopefully. But next year, go ahead, Dylan.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna say it. I didn't give 2 shits about Nintendo's. The only part that mattered to me was like, the pre. Oh shit, he's getting the belt.
Well, that you said.
No, because I got Elden. I didn't care about much else throughout the entire thing. Nothing really stood out to me. Like, yeah, new Smash character. All right, well, that.
Hey, that was unexpected.
Once every 3 months.
Hey, hey, Kazooie.
We got a Tekken character. All right, cool. We got a Street Fighter character. Like, how many seasons ago? And then, like, I even had to stop playing Smash Brothers because when I traded in my Switch for a Switch Lite, I lost all of my data, so I lost all of my progress on Smash Brothers. But I just look at Smash Brothers and I just think one day, and I just think in the back of my head, no.
But Dylan, there's a cheating way to get all your characters. So you meet the character, beat him up, get the unlock character. You keep tips those on top.
I know. But I don't want to do that. I did that last time, and I don't want to do that anymore.
I don't want to spend another 30-minute story
that was a slog. like Metroid, okay, cool. Like new Mario Party, all right, with all the older maps and games, all right, cool. Like Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, cool, got some new gameplay. Like the only thing that really excited me was like Elden Ring, and in an off way, like slight gameplay for the Evil Dead game. Like, I'm probably the only one that's excited for that period.
Everybody, look at Aki in his natural habitat as he sleeps.
Damn, this is gonna be like, man, for me, this is gonna be like the Friday the 13th situation. I was the only one that cared about that game.
Look at Aki just sitting there
I'll
gracefully.
try the Evil Dead game when it comes out.
It's gonna look great.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
and like
moving.
even
He's
Ubisoft,
he's moving.
Disappointed me.
He's scratching the back of his head. Shh, he waking up. Shh.
What is the Evil Dead game? Is it
He's
one of those
confused.
like 4v1 hunter games, or what is it? Like, is it
Something
like a
like
Dead by
that?
Daylight game?
It
Okay.
looks like it.
Yeah, it looks to be similar to it. I don't know. I don't know. It kind of feels like I'm gonna have to wait and see more gameplay because the gameplay that they did release was just how some of the characters play. Because I mean, you got Henry the Red from Army of Darkness. You got Evil Ash after Bruce Campbell fucked his existence up.
Hey, but hey, in all honesty, though,
Pablo, and I can't remember what her name was in Ash versus Evil Dead. I mean, of course, you got Ash, but like it just showed off some of the characters, how they play, and they in the trailer, the gameplay trailer said that you can control, the evil itself, and like,
Interesting.
yeah. So it's really interesting concept. So I want to see, but like it kind of gave me like a toned down kind of Left 4 Dead vibe, kind of mixed with Dead by Daylight. But
Okay.
I mean, there's not much I could have picked out of that.
The only one of the games that ever interests me from the particular genre was Evolve, and that game died. Like that was one of those
Yeah.
unfortunate
well, that game died because
like-
they shot themselves in the foot from the start.
Well, I don't know about what happened because I mean, I just know that the concept of the game really interests me. The fact that you have a monster and you can evolve it to be more powerful if you go around and consume things, and and then you have 4 hunters with special abilities to hunt it down, and you have to work together to trap it and take it down. Like, brilliant.
To give you a go ahead. Go. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I don't know what killed that game, why it died, but it just seemed like a winning formula. I mean, obviously these other companies iterated on it and made it better.
So,
but
what happened was that whenever they came out, by the way, they were upfront and say every DLC that you bought, like they had a shit ton of cosmetic DLC. The game was somewhat pay to win as well, but they had a shit ton of paid DLC, which was like over $100 worth of DLC of like cosmetics and also different guns, or I think even characters too. And then also the game was really super unbalanced. It made the hunters super strong versus the monsters. Like, you would think that in reality the monster is supposed to be strong because you're going against 4 hunters. You have a hunt, because they each have different roles. Hunter, one person has to hunt, help hunt, track the monster. One person has this, that, this, and the other. And so the game was like super unbalanced. And so between the game being super unbalanced and all the paid microtransactions back then, people did not like that at all. And so like that killed the player base of the game, because they felt
unfortunate.
And yeah, they literally did it to themselves. But it wasn't because of just I think it was Turtle Rock that developed the game. It wasn't just them. It was technically they were kind of forced to. I think, yeah, they were kind of forced to because the publisher wanted the money, I guess. And so that's when the game closed down or whatever, correct? And then they came back, like, it's weird. So they closed the entire game down, right? And then I think like a year or two later, they came back and was like, here's Evolve Stage 2. So they're like making like a jump start.
Free to play.
Yeah, free to play jump start to the game, right? And then 2K was like, well, we're closing down and the game was only alive. The Stage 2 was only alive for like literally like less than a year. Because then 2K was like, oh, we're closing it down because we're not going to pay, whatever else. Is like, well, there you go. That's it.
That's too bad. It was a good game, and I'll tell you, like, some of the that used to be like one of the only games that I would watch back in the day, like 2014, 2013, because like the hunter or the monsters, I would always watch the monster player. They were stupid good. Like they were so good at like doubling back, like evolving quickly. Yeah, it was such a pleasure to watch. Then all of a sudden, like it. I mean, and now that you're mentioning, I do remember that there was a lot of paid DLC. There was a lot of like some of the hunters you had to pay for that were even more powerful. So I get it. That's and I think that was right along the time when the whole microtransaction thing was like less about cosmetics and more about like you had to pay for extra maps, you had to pay for extra heroes that were better than the base ones. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so like
Anyway, little tangent.
Like any game that can compete against Dead by Daylight, I'll be fine with, because like right now Behavior has a monopoly in this genre at the moment, and they really do need some competition. Like Friday the 13th had that kind of competition, but of course they're hit by a wall, and that wall is called licensing, which they can't really do anything for the game anymore because of licensing issues.
Actually, they're still releasing stuff for it. Actually,
I thought they stopped because of licensing.
They did for a while, but they started coming out with. I know they recently released Jason from Jason X, as well as the ship map. And I think they might be releasing other stuff. I'm not 100% sure. I gotta look into it.
Hey, but you know what I'm waiting for though? I'm waiting for that Fortnite implosion though. They're gonna license so much shit that once Fortnite starts to run dry on money, they're gonna do it's gonna go through the tall tales thing or whatever.
Dude, Epic already is hemorrhaging money because they keep giving so many games away for free that they're slowly putting themselves in a financial hole.
I read about that.
Like they're like the only thing that is actually keeping them afloat right now financially is the microtransactions off of Fortnite, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, like not to really go off on Epic, but my main thing is, if you put a bad taste in my mouth whenever you buy exclusives, and it's not here's the thing, it's not that you're not helping funding these games because you're not actively helping fund them. It's when the games are about to release and then you snatch them up because that's like, I want money. That's when I don't. Thank you. I'll wait that year. Thank you. That's why I did Phoenix Point. I'll wait that year. And by that year, all the bugs will be fixed, all the glitches will be fixed out, the game will be perfect, and that's when you get my time.
They just need to learn that like it's fine to get these like small studios or get these exclusives, and get them a big cut. That's fine, but like most things out there, like most companies, like it's an introductory plan. You know what I mean? Like you should be starting these companies off with like, for the first 2 years, you guys get a 30% cut. After that, it'll go down to like 20, and then maybe based on sales, down from there. Like you can't just keep giving money away to people. Like say what you want about Steam, they make everything really available. Like part of the price of that is that they get a bigger cut. They have the platform. They have the ability to do it. Now Epic's not small anymore. Like they're nearly a household name when it comes to games.
Dude.
But you got to be business savvy with what you can't just keep giving people these giant cuts of money because there's operating costs to
you see,
pay.
and that's what I get. It's so tragic that people don't actually understand that. People say that out of blue that Steam is a monopoly. No, they're not. Here's the issue here. This is we're in the year 2019 I think it was when Epic came out, right? With their store 2019. So between 2019 and 2021, okay, you should have been looking at Steam and be like, okay, what does Steam have? What can we put on our platform? That's what you should be looking at. Okay. They came out with a store that was so bare bones that they don't even have a shopping cart still to this day. Okay. Now, when you come to Steam, yes, Steam takes a 30% cut, but then if your game sells a certain amount, it goes down to 20. Okay. But at the back end of Steam, they give you developer tools, they give you hosting tools, they give you a forum, they give you this, they give you that. Okay. People, when games release on Epic Game Store, let me tell you, they don't go to the Epic Game Store forums because the Epic Game Store doesn't have forums. They go to the Steam forums and talk about the game, especially if the game's is going to release on Steam. Yeah. So that's the thing people aren't really realizing, and that's why none of these other stores aren't doing that. EA and Microsoft are like, at the end of the day, they're like, you know what? Why are we trying to compete with Steam where we can share some of that cake too? Why don't we release our EA Origins on Steam? And then we can also make people we can force people to use Origins, but at the end of the day, we're still making profit. Or with Microsoft here, sure, you might need to still launch Microsoft's Game Pass store or whatever, but we're still making a profit. Yeah. People aren't realizing that. Now, if you play let's say Ubisoft, they could make their store platform better, but they're not attempting to. And that's when you look at it, it's like, well, that's when you get those people with deep with the monopoly. No, they're not. Is this they're not doing nothing with it with their own storefront?
That just depends on how it just depends on how you look at it, because like while I was like no, they're not a monopoly technically. Like they get off on a technicality basically, because like you said, no one uses Ubisoft as a storefront. No one uses Origin as a storefront. No one uses EA as a storefront. They're using Steam. Now they say, oh well, you're still launching it through Origin. Like, okay, so what is Origin for? Do they have built-in like does Origin and Ubisoft, is that where the what's it called, the security measures are for those servers? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like there has to be a reason, because at some point it's just going to kind of come down to these companies are going to be like, we don't even need this launcher anymore. It's just for posterity's sake. It's just because it's another thing. But then it will be a monopoly, and people won't be able to get games anywhere else. So no, it's like I said, they get off on a technicality, but I don't know. I think these companies need to be looking at a better way to compete with Steam, because eventually it will get to a point, like I said, where they will have every bit of market front, and we're just going to have to pay whatever it is that they want to charge. You know what I mean? And we talked about it before. Like these companies need to find out how to compete with Steam in the way. Like it's a long road though. It's not an overnight thing. I think Epic tried to corner the market instantaneously, and I think that was their downfall. They haven't course corrected to take care of their bottom line.
True, very true.
No,
very, very true.
With Epic, it just seemed like that they thought money was the answer, so that's why they kept trying to round up everything that they could, and
it's just
eventually that bit them square in the ass.
That's my protest against Epic. It's not that I don't want to play these games. It's just when it comes to me, I don't do the whole you buy games for the exclusive contract, like especially the ones that are just about to be finished. That, number one, that puts a bad taste in my mouth. Number one. Number two, I really did enjoy Fortnite Save the World, but as you see, as of right now, Fortnite Save the World basically doesn't exist anymore. Battle Royale took it over.
Yeah.
Yep. And the reason why I got salty with that, because the H1Z1 did the same thing. H1Z1 is like, like you were talking about earlier, we want to be that survival game. I played it for the survival. I put over 200 some hours in that game, for the survival portion, right? And then they're like, well, never mind, guys. We're gonna destroy. They basically destroyed the survivor portion, and they're like, we're gonna focus more on the battle royale portion. And even today,
still sucked. Yeah,
the battle royale portion is still barely existing, because it still plays the same as it was 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So like that's why I'm like, I'm not gonna do this all over again. That was Epic, And then another thing is that their storefront usually gets breached like literally every day. It took me like until I got 2-factor authentication that finally stopped the breaching. Like, I'll get an email saying your account has been logged in from another web from somewhere else. Luckily, I didn't have any credit card information or anything of the sort on there. Because I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna put I'll collect those free games. Don't get me wrong, I'll collect them. Thank you, appreciate you. But that's all you're getting from me. But yeah, any other thoughts today, guys? Any other thoughts? And
the fuck was Ubisoft smoking at E3 this year?
At whatever Aki's been smoking.
No. See, but I'm okay with what Aki was smoking. Ubisoft was over here doing grade A crystal blue sky meth over here from Walter White himself.
Oh my gosh.
The biggest thing that they had was Rainbow Six Quarantine, and that looked like fucking trash. And I was so upset because it's like, it looks like the easiest fucking thing. It looks like the easiest game in the world. And like, I love Rainbow Six Siege. It's one of my favorite multiplayer games. Love it to death. And then they take this formula and they slam it into like what feels like, it's a low tier like Left 4 Dead. And it's just like, you can make this work, but they fucked it up. It's just slap suppressor on your gun and then just click on their heads and that's it. Like, and there's, there's some kind of planning, but it doesn't work. And that irritated me to no end. And it's coming out in September, and I'm sitting here going, this game needs to get pushed back because it's not looking great.
These games prey on the ignorance of like the gaming audience. I think they throw out.
It really does.
They throw out a lot of these wow moments of like, whoa, look what this does. Look at this mechanic. And because at the end of the day, like, I mean, just think about how even the Fortnite multiplayer is gone. Like it used to be, you would build like a wall and a ramp and like pop up in and out. Now, like you said, someone shoots you in the back of the head and you build like Manhattan in between you and the other person. Like that's how every game is. Like they found a way to exploit the mechanics of the game to not really do what was originally intended. Now it's entertaining to watch and all, but like that's what's going to happen with a game like Rainbow Six Quarantine. Like these things will be exploited in a way, and it's not going to work as it was originally intended. Now you can argue that's good or bad, but again, these companies know that they can put out a product that's unfinished and just say, we're aware of the problem. We know that this is an issue. We can fix it. I mean, Outriders is the perfect example of that, where it was supposed to be this really cool looter shooter, single player, like up to 3 or 4 people or whatever. And all they did was say, we know there's a problem. Like, we're sick of hearing that you know that there's a problem. Just fix it.
Exactly.
Like, what is there to say? Like, we don't care for your apologies. We want the game to work. We don't want it to be a $60 or $70 dud for 3 months and then hope that you deliver on this stuff, So, but that's my problem with these games nowadays is like, and that's why I don't get excited. I just sit here and say, hopefully it's good. Hopefully it goes all right. That's why I haven't bought an early access game in a while. I actually waited for the new Subnautica to come out of early access before I bought it because I wanted to make sure that they finished it when they said they would, and
the thing
there would be more.
The thing with early access is that it's on you. Because they say specifically this game is early access. That's my major complaint with people is when they say, "Oh my god, this game! Why did I buy this game? It's buggy. It's this, is that." The game specifically states early access. You're going into it knowing damn well that it's going to have bugs. It may or may not be finished. You don't know. That's on you at the end of the day. But like you said, you waited though. And that's what you either can wait for the game or you can buy an early access and report early access for people who are going to sit there and report bugs to the developer. That's what early access is for. But people don't do that. They want to sit back and bitch, moan, and complain. Like I really want to get this game. It's called Frozenheim. I think me and Dylan talked about it. It's a city builder in early access, but people are complaining about how buggy it is. Well, yes, it's an early access.
Right.
It makes no sense to me. It's a game. Oh, this game is crashing a lot. Well, yes, it's an early access. It's gonna crash a lot. I'm sorry. I went off on tangent. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but no, and I totally agree with you. I hate when people complain about early access games like that. My point more is like a lot of these even AAA games are coming out as like, oh, we're done. And it's like, well, just kidding. We have like this huge day one patch, and then we have. We're going to have another patch at the end of the week because we know we messed up and COVID and it's like, well, God, at some point you guys got to do your job. Like,
yeah, I feel like I feel like people using COVID as COVID and pandemic as an excuse nowadays. So, like, trust me, I understand. We went the first year, which was in the full year 2020. Fine, you can let that shit slide. We are 6 months into 2021. You can't be blaming the pandemic half the time. I'm sorry.
Especially if you haven't adjusted. Like if at this point you haven't figured out how to like work productively from home, like, well, it's probably on you. Like, I don't know what to say.
Like,
and not to say that I know everything about the gaming industry or whatever, but everyone's had to at some point adjust to this and get used to it and understand how to work from a distance,
Fucking Night made me laugh, dude. I disagree, Waffle. Take-Two and Capcom need to ask you.
A lot of people in the Z3 need to ask me. Like as trash as I fucking hated this conference. Now, Ubisoft, they're slowly doing better. Like they listen to community feedback. I mean, a lot of things that get put into Siege and even into Breakpoint, comes from community feedback. And like the immersive mode that came in, like like the looter shooter portion of Breakpoint is still in there, and you can choose to play that, or you can play it in immersive mode, which is exactly tactical military shooter. No, no looting required. You can play it exactly like you played Wildlands, which was awesome, which is what everybody wanted. And and they still keep putting these community things in, and like and like I'm tripping over my words. But yeah, no, with the conference for Ubisoft, as much as there's the one thing that I love the most though out of Ubisoft is they announced, because they said that they've never really done this before, but with Assassin's Creed, they're going to be releasing content well into the second year of the game's lifespan, which I love. I loved Valhalla. Valhalla was amazing.
That's cool.
It was so much fun. I've 100%ed the game. I need to finish the DLCs that came out. And one thing that did have me chuckling though is that they're adding a Viking RP character in it.
Really?
Yeah, because it's allowing you to. It's like what they did with Odyssey, where you can go to certain places and it gives you backstory on like cities or buildings, like back during ancient Greece, but this time in Norway, or during the occupation of the Vikings when they came to England for the first time.
You want to know what I am glad about though is that they didn't show off games that we already know. Like I'm just looking at someone's tweet, right? And like Triangle Strategy, they told us about this game a while back, but they didn't show us anything, and I'm fine with that because we already knew something about that. Or Final Fantasy 16, Square Enix could have showed that off, but I'm glad they didn't because we already know about it. For same thing, this. I'm actually kind of glad that a lot of them didn't do that. But some of them still did. Like, I feel like this was just an this E3 was just a big advertisement for games that are coming out literally next week. Like Monster Hunter Stories. We've been told about this game at least 500 times. We know it's coming out next week, something like next 2 weeks or something like that. We don't need to. Yeah. You were advertised that 30,000 times. Okay, come on, Capcom. There's plenty of other games that they did that with. I mean, I will say Nintendo did it with Mario. What's that new Mario Golf game? They did it with that. They didn't have to do it, but they did it. So that's why I felt like a lot of this E3 was just a big advertisement for something that's coming up next week instead of in the future. I mean, I would be okay if they were to announce games that are coming out sometime like I will say like Nintendo Day that's coming out this year instead of next year. But I mean, I really want to say that I'm expecting a lot of games next year. I'm expecting a lot of them. I don't want to hear this pandemic excuse. I don't. Not next year. Especially now.
I would plan on a lot of them being delayed. Sorry, not to interrupt.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, especially with these vaccines out, I want to see this.
Well, remember, there's game companies all around the world, and America right now is just at the forefront with the vaccines, and they're not really getting much elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Japan's still getting hit hard with it. I'm sure China is, whatever the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think we're sending like 500 million vaccines or something to India.
We are, donating.
Yeah, something like that. So I mean, we're spreading the wealth at least, but right now it's just I think the whole world's just kind of having an uphill battle right now, and just trying to get through this, especially with how much this virus is mutated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the vaccines that that I got, if this keeps mutating, how long will the vaccination hold?
Man, we're waiting for the apocalypse time. Waiting for the zombie apocalypse. Yes, sir.
And we'll be in the video game.
Yeah, that's all I'm waiting for.
Hey, I'm set, man. Zombie apocalypse happens, so my family's good, brother.
Hey, y'all think them hillbillies were wrong, or not hillbillies, but them crazy people were wrong. Oh, right. they were so right. The end is near. Yeah.
Funny.
Got a neighbor down the street, got the bomb shelter ready. Yeah, one of his house.
Shit, I'm about to go build one myself. Hell.
Sorry, brother. You got food for me too?
No, I don't. I only got enough MREs for me and the family. That's about it.
But yeah, man, it's just I just hope that next year, especially now, I talk about this, especially with like the newer consoles and stuff too, with PS5 and the new Xboxes, that they should delay those consoles by another year or two as well. I actually touched hands. My cousin came over this past weekend. I actually got to feel the PS5, the power of the PS5, by the way, and it felt good to be. The controller felt good, everything felt good, but that's the thing though. It's just, there's nothing. There's no gains for those consoles. There's nothing. No matter what you say, there's nothing. My cousin's like, he feel how heavy it is. I'm like, yeah, the PS5 is fucking heavy. I'm not gonna lie. It's heavier than my PS4, like 2 times as heavy as my PS4. But I see it as the gigantic ass router at the end of the day, because all you have, you have Demon Souls now, you have Ratchet & Clank now, you have what else do you have on PS5? See, I don't even know. You see?
Probably the only 2 games that are going to release exclusive.
Oh. And then you could say, well, you can play PS4 games on PS5. Yes, but that's not the point, though. You buy the console to play PS5
play the 60
games.
FPS.
Yes.
Yeah.
No matter what you say, that y'all spent your money on the PS5, so rush to get the console. Y'all should have waited for at least a year or two. Y'all just wanted.
Yeah,
y'all just wanted.
That's the secret. That's the secret. Is like with these new consoles and stuff. Just wait for the lighter version, or the S version or whatever it is. Because it'll generally be a little cheaper, they'll work out the bugs, and there'll actually be games to play.
Yeah.
Not a bunch of remasters for the next gen. Like, sure, I'll pay $70 for that game that I've already played 100 times. Like, I don't know.
Look, I got a PS5 just so I can play Demon Souls, and you know what? I'm pretty happy with it.
It's a very nice paperweight you have.
Hey, it's a paperweight that plays like 4K Demon Souls remake.
The games do look great. They look great. They do. Like playing a game on a console 60 FPS.
I bought a 2K monitor specifically so I could play it, because I don't have it, and it's got HDR and everything, and just I'm running it, man, and just it looks so good. And I just sit there and I'm looking. I'm like, is this what it's like to be rich?
Yes.
Is this what it's like?
That's a good point that D's Nuts made. Like, lucky that the PS5 has no games, given its unfortunate scarcity. Like, can you imagine if there were games to play? Like, people would be probably murdering each other for these things.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay. Knight made a funny point. Godfall. Let me tell you how bad Godfall did. Okay, they made the game a precise PS5 exclusive. All right, it's not that it shows with the scarcity too, because the game, they were telling this game's gonna be great, but then they realized that, wait a minute, there's not enough PS5s for people to actually play this game, but we got to do something to make a profit. That's why they're like, it's funny because they're like, guess what, guys? They're coming with a new downgraded port of Godfall to the PS4. We're downgrading the game to the PS4. And now we can make more money. Yeah. I feel it. I understand.
But the whole semiconductor shortage thing, that does make me worry.
No, they said it's gonna last for like another year or two. Year or two. Hell, I can even.
Well, at least the console shortage, like the whole semiconductor issue, I don't.
Hell, I can see.
Like, I don't think there's necessarily been a semiconductor shortage ever.
Well, that's in the start to the pandemic. I can see Sony downgrading Ratchet & Clank to PS4. I mean, honestly, I know they're touting that this whole SSD thing is like going to be the way of the future, but like, it didn't really make a difference to me, honestly. Unless they like program each game to like load in assets or a certain way or whatever, but I feel like Sony they're going to do that as well, especially since they've been porting a lot of their first parties to PC and stuff and other places as well. So,
I remember right. I think something similar to that works with Spider-Man. Like, there's different like renderings or like different ways to render between like the PS4 and the PS5 versions.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like the PS5 goes like a bit harder with its rendering technique.
So yeah, it's like they can do. I mean, it's like, yeah, they can do it. You know, they can definitely do it. We just gotta wait and see, though. You know, but yeah, Godfall though, man.
Yeah, but I tell you what, though, at least there's more games on the PS5 than the new Xbox.
I mean, Microsoft, they just don't have any exclusives to say themselves that much. I mean, like, Microsoft be like this.
They haven't had any exclusives since like 360.
Like Microsoft be like this. We're gonna buy you. We're gonna buy you. We're gonna buy you. And we're gonna keep buying you. But hey, guys, we got games in development, guys. We're gonna show you guys real
5
soon.
more games.
we're gonna show you guys real
night.
soon, though. Okay, you know.
But that formula seems to be working much better for them. Like, I think they realize that there's like the future of gaming is not in the exclusives as much as it is like being open to cross-platform and getting a library of games. Like, the Xbox Game Pass is probably one of the best things that they've ever done. xCloud, like when they kind of work the kinks out of it, is great. I mean, they just need to like, I don't know. I
you know what?
Whatever they did at the launch of Xbox One, like that totally fucked them. They've totally turned around their business model.
But you know, I agree with you with Game Pass becoming a good thing, but it's also a bad thing too, because eventually, like, it makes people not want to spend money on game. Like, here's how I use Game Pass. I get the 1 month for 3 months or whatever, because they usually give that to you like every so often. I get that, and I use Xbox Game Pass as a demo service, as a full game demo service. So I buy the game, I download these games, play them. If I like them, I'll look for them on my preferred platform to buy them. That's how I look at it. But a lot of people, they don't want to anymore buy the game, especially now since games are now $70 now. You know, and what's making it worse is that they're trying to bring the $70 shit to PC, by the way, if you haven't really noticed. Let's say like with the most recent games, if you look at any recent game, they tout the game at $60, right? But then they have these $70, $80 deluxe editions, you know, to entice you to pay the $80. So it becomes like the normal on PC or whatever. So if I were you folks, keep looking out for stuff like that. It's like, it's the small stuff, because then eventually that's when every company, because, you know, Sony they're starting it first, right? And then, you know, they're trying to gradually change the market around to make that the normal. And I'm sorry, I can't sit there and spend $70. I mean, it's really $15 extra dollars, depending on if you pay your taxes or whatnot. Well, you know, on tax. Well, not if you pay tax, but it's like
if you pay taxes.
When you pay some taxes.
When you're paying taxes and stuff, depending on what your state is, you know. So yeah, I just can't see myself paying $70 for a game right now. You know, that's just me. But so we have at least about a good 15 more minutes left into the for this podcast. But I hope that you guys so far have been enjoying it, though. I know Aki's enjoying it.
He enjoyed it so well that he has to give us $5 now.
Yeah, Aki, yeah. Hold on, Aki. Where's my $5 at? He didn't hear
Aki,
that.
you there?
You have no strength to do that, though. But where my $5 at? Hey,
You know, I feel like Aki's just been asleep this whole time, but every time he's shifted in his chair, he's just got a Roomba just hitting his chair, so it turns him a bit.
He is.
So
like,
it looks
in
like he's still
between.
awake.
Yeah, he's like in between both things.
fucking Knight over here. They need to rename the console Game Pass Series X. Buy the PS4 version, you go upgrade PS5 version for free. But here's the thing, though. Here's what you're not going to understand, Knight, is that you're getting the digital version for free. Okay, because they're trying a lot. If you don't realize this, people don't realize this. They're trying to weed out physical copies of games. Okay, that's what they're trying to do, because they say that, here's the thing with digital games, that they say that if we're going digital, shit is supposed to be cheaper. That's a damn lie. When I'm expecting a digital game, you're getting rid of the manufacturing costs of that digital game, correct? Honestly, instead of paying $70, I need to be seeing that game be $40 to $50. But here's the thing, though, that's not going to be. They're not going to do that. That's what they're shitting you at. So they're trying, because here's the thing: when you own a physical game, you can open it, you can touch it, it's yours. When you buy a game digitally on the console,
hey, don't like that though.
when you
Don't
buy
like that Switch cartridge.
when you buy a game digitally, you are owning just the license, a little script that says you can. That's yours.
You can open it, you can play it, but then once, say, your account gets banned, we're taking that.
That's it.
That license away from you.
That's it. So you can spend like $5,000 on your PS4 on your PS account. When that PS account gets banned, you lost all access to your stuff. And people, yes, convenience is great. Don't get me wrong. It's great to have a convenience, but at the end of you really have to really think about it. They're trying to take away your ownership of of your console. Like even with the PS4, every so often your PS4 or PS5 will ramp up just to check to make sure that game that you have in your drive, you will have the license to play that game. It will do that even if it's a physical copy. That will happen. My PS4 ramps up every so often, even if it's in sleep mode, it ramps up. Just check and make sure that whatever I'm playing, I have the ownership to play it. Petty companies will wipe the game console. Exactly.
Hey, guys, really important here. If you have not claimed it, Control is free on the Epic Game Store. I've only played through about 3 hours of the game, but it's phenomenal. So you should be getting Control, by the way.
And
all of you guys and everyone at home.
And to keep that in mind, that is a regular Control. It's not the what do you call edition, the Ultimate Edition. But you at least get the regular one for free. Keep that in mind.
Free is free.
Yeah,
it's a great game.
Shag, sir, I try to tell my friends that all the time, and they're like, "Fuck that! I don't care if it's free. I don't want it, but it's free though. Just get it, just to get it. It's not gonna hurt you."
A free good game like that, you're stupid not to get it.
If it's free and you download it, even if you're not gonna probably play it, you have it just in case if you're like, I actually want to try that.
That's that's what I do.
And then like down the line, you're like, oh man, I should download this game when it was free, so that way I could play it. But now I gotta pay like over $60. So why didn't you listen?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta head out. You guys have a wonderful rest of your stream and the podcast. It's always a pleasure to be here.
No, thank you for coming on through. Appreciate it. You have a good one, Shagsworth.
Anytime.
Shagsworth.
See ya.
Don't get drugs out of trouble. And also, by the Genshin Impact is free. I mean, I thought it was already free, but it's free.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like, I thought it was already free, but are you telling me that it's free again?
Really?
Yeah, it's free on Epic.
Yeah, Aki, let's hear Aki thoughts, Aki. What are your thoughts at Aki?
Y'all need to leave that dude alone.
Great talk, Aki.
I mean, nice talking about. He talking to you. Aki said, "What are your Aki thoughts?"
See, I'm telling you, it's the Roomba. It just keeps spinning them.
But yeah, man, it's just I just want to see what's coming. Hopefully, we're gonna have. We have a lot of games coming out. I just wish I can get through all these games as possible. Like right now, I'm trying to burn through my not burn through. I'm trying to play through my my backlog. So currently, right now, I'm playing through Days Gone. I was gonna stream it, but I'm like, you know what? I haven't really been on Twitch as much lately, so I'm just like, I'm gonna play this on my own in my own time, and been enjoying that. Like, what have you before we all head out here and stuff for the podcast? What have you guys been enjoying as of recently?
As of recently, I have been trying to get back into Doom 2016 because I downloaded that game last year, and I was like, I've had this game for over a year. I want to play it, and it was also kind of because like I saw that Doom Eternal was on sale around when I decided to play it. Mm-hmm. So I got that so that way I could be ready for Eternal.
Mm-hmm. I got the collector's edition of that.
Nice.
I got the helmet.
Hey.
And it actually fits on my huge fucking head.
Hey. He's a Doom guy. But Dylan, what speaking of which, what are you playing now? Anything?
Well, Dead by Daylight, I'm trying to get into the killer side of things. I recently just got through Fable Anniversary because I kind of had the inkling to play that. I wanted to do a will build, But then I got like 5 hours into it, just using nothing but spells, and I just said, "Fuck it, I'm going back to using my swords."
Hey,
Because you can't do a will build in that game. You can try, but it's not applicable.
yeah, yeah. What about? Oh,
I
keep going.
tried slowly kind of getting back into Fallout 4,
Hey.
but right now I don't. All I've done recently, like the past 3 days, is just watch meme videos. I can't stop. It's an issue. I need help. Somebody help me.
What about you, Riddler? What are you playing currently?
Or
Total
God
War.
Eater 2, the series. I don't know what I'm gonna play after that. Though.
By the way, I got Riddler into Total War. Yep.
Yeah, like this is for real a thing, bro. I
We're
can't even be
Bastal
mad at it.
superior.
Let's see. And what about you, Toilet? What do you get into right now?
Kind of in between a lot of games. I guess that's kind of normal though. But I've been trying to work through the SMT3 Nocturne, the remastered, and then I've been playing more Raft. And there was this cool game that it's a fun party game. It's like Among Us but bougie. It's called First Class Trouble. It's pretty fun actually if you have a full squad.
I think I've seen some gameplay for it. I think I saw General Sam playing that recently, and it looks pretty fun. I
Yeah,
won't
it's pretty
lie,
fun.
but like I find it hard for me on a personal and emotional level, because when it gets into everyone just screaming and yelling at each other, I just get a panic attack, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
Well, it's a little different than Among Us, where like there's different ways to win. You don't necessarily need to yell it or like.
Mm.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but I recommend it.
I miss the ship.
Oh,
The
and
Murder Party Ship?
Say what?
The Murder Party Ship game, or
I think it was just called the ship, but it was kind of like this, where like everyone has like a target they need to go kill, and so it's just trying to find a way to kill this person without getting caught by the cops. And like you respawn, and then you just get a new quarry to hunt down, and you can just kill each other in like some of the dumbest ways possible. Like you can poison people with syringes, or you can even just throw an umbrella like you're an NFL linebacker. Just kill him that way. It's really, yeah. You're just like,
awesome.
it's like, oh, there he is. Just kill him that way. But you can get caught by the cops, and then you get put in like a jail for like a couple minutes. And what's even worse is there's like a little view window. So if the person that's hunting you knows you're in jail, they'll just sit there and just stare at you through that window, just waiting for you to get out. It's like, as soon as you get out of that, you're mine.
oh,
Like,
and
I know I'm fucked.
and Knight. Speaking of Advanced Wars, Knight, I'm ready for that. My body's ready. Knight, you don't know. I don't know if you didn't hear me, but for the past like year, you can ask Tips this. I've been speaking about Advanced Wars for the past year, bro. Dead ass.
Yeah.
Dead ass. I said, man, Nintendo, if they don't come out with Advanced Wars, man, they need to hurry remake that. Oh my god, I'm ready. I played the shit out of that game as a kid. God, dude, and like the people were complaining about the art style. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. The art style is fine. Enjoy the fucking game. Shut the fuck up. Woo!
New Metal Slug.
Yes, that too.
Oh, right,
New
that
Metal
too.
Slug coming out.
That too. That looks amazing. That too. Can't wait for it.
Dude, Fio all day.
Can't wait for it.
Fio is best girl, and nobody can tell me otherwise.
But like I said, before we end the podcast here, y'all, how everything's gonna go is this. So this was our 7th episode of the podcast. When we get to episode 10, that's when we're gonna be taking at least a 2-month break, or either a month to 2 months break, where a lot of things are probably gonna be changing. Like, let's say I'm gonna try to do some work around the background with graphics and stuff, but also we'll be adding the podcast will be on different people's channels next year. If people want that to get more of a exposure for you guys to get to see what it's like on their side of things. And so also we'll be allowing more guests on the podcast as well. So like I said, if you guys who are part of the show have any guests that want to be a part of it, that want to talk about something, definitely come on through. But like I said, I hope that you guys today, the host here, I hope that you guys enjoyed the podcast today. I mean, I had a fun time here today. What about you guys though?
Pretty good.
I got to rant about Ubisoft, so what I wanted to do.
That's a win for you, Dylan.
That's the W for me.
If you guys have any suggestions, that means either hosts or you guys who are the viewers here, if you have any suggestions of what we should talk about next time on the podcast, definitely post up. As you guys know, our podcast about anime, games. We do somewhat get into some political things, kinda, but that's only if it's agreed upon by everybody. And so, that's what you guys can definitely expect. Sexual predator Ubisoft. Damn, Ryan. I mean, he's not wrong though. He's not wrong.
Yeah, it's not wrong.
Fucking party animals 2022. Freaking night, dude. I think I've seen that game at YouTube. Let me see. Let me look that up though. But yeah, I had a lot of fun though. It was a great podcast. So you guys can expect the next podcast to probably be around I guess towards the end of the month, probably, most likely. 2 weeks from now on the 30th. On that Wednesday on the 30th, so you guys can y'all can expect that on there. And like I said, if you guys have any topics, just let us know what you guys want us to talk about. Y'all want us to hit something hard, let us know. I still need to create a section in my Discord for that, but so if you are a part of that, you can go ahead and post in there. But definitely though, thank you guys, the host here. I gave everybody a shout out within the chat. So by the way, if y'all if you guys are not checking these folks out, definitely do so, y'all. Definitely do so. Check them all out. And also, let me go ahead and give you a shout out, Tips. I don't know why I forgot about to give you a shout out. I was just looking at my boy. There you go. But yeah, give all these guys a follow. Is this on YouTube yet? It's not on YouTube yet because I'm creating a new YouTube channel for the podcast. That's why I said during this 2-month break that I'm taking, I got to do a lot of background work, putting this making YouTube channel for it and stuff like that. But this will be on Spotify. So if you need the Spotify link, I can definitely use the Spotify. So when it comes to on Spotify, you'll get the audio only version, of course, but on YouTube, you'll get the video version of everybody here. And then on some of the videos, I'll zoom in on Aki specifically, just for when he's sleeping, where you guys can check him out in action when he's sleeping.
Get a counter.
He needs an ASMR sleeping channel.
Yes,
that's exactly what I'm doing. So y'all can see him in action. Ain't the right Aki? Dun, dun, dun. Thank you, Aki. Thank you. Good talk. But yeah, thank you guys for all coming out to the podcast. Though I really do appreciate it. Hope to see y'all again on the 30th. We're gonna have more topics. Want to post up? Let us know. But thank y'all very much, and I hope that you guys have a great evening. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe. Wash your hands. Wash your butt or ass, whatever. I don't care. But yeah, have a good one, y'all. Appreciate it.